What's good, YouTube? It's Khalil Jamar. Hope that all is well with you guys. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. If this is not your first time on my channel, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about another video that I came across that was posted by the Strength Company. And in the video that was posted by the Strength Company, they talk about how realistic it is and what it takes to have the ability to bench press 315 pounds. Now, I'm going to put this into context. Somebody having the ability to bench press that amount of weight is very rare. I found this article that actually puts it into numbers, and about 1 in 100 people have the ability to bench press 300 pounds or more. And in the article, they equate that to someone having an IQ of 145 or having a size 16 shoe. So obviously it's a very rare thing to see. Now, while it is very rare, I think more people are capable of bench pressing 300 pounds or more. And they talk about it a little bit in the video as well. I'm going to do too, as I play some of the clips from the video that was posted by the Strength Company, I'm going to also add in my 2 cents and talk about some of the things that you can actually start doing now if you have the goal of bench pressing 315 pounds. Let's get into the video.
Is a 315 bench for like the average person, where is that in like the realistic scale?
Yeah. So it's a tough answer, right? And because it comes back to the human behavior deal. Most people do not train consistently. And even when they think they're training consistently, they're not training consistently. And they're missing, one session every 7 days. And all of that adds up. So I'm not saying that everyone should be 200 pounds. That's not what I'm saying. Obviously your height plays a factor and like your goals, but I do think that a 200 pound male is capable of 315 pound bench press.
Now, I do agree with Grant when he said that most people just don't train consistently enough. I would even add on to that and say that most people aren't even strength training enough. For example, if you're going into the gym and you're doing cardio most of the time, yes, you're in the gym. You might go to the gym 7 days a week, but doing cardio is not going to get you to the point where you can bench press 315 pounds. You need to be on a program that has the intention of increasing strength. One program that you can jump on now and start now is the Mad Cow 5x5 program. This is a program that I started out with, and when I even first got into powerlifting, I only worked on bench press. I've just realized over time that I wanted to increase my squat and deadlift as well, and that's when I completely got enveloped into training as a power lifter. So again, you want to jump on some type of strength training program. A 5x5 is a perfect place to start. The other thing that he does mention is if you're 200 pounds, you may be capable of bench pressing 315 pounds. If that is the case, then that does answer the question if it's realistic or not for an average person, for example, to have that ability. The average man in the US weighs 197 pounds. So for most men, it's something that they are capable of. But to what he said earlier, and a little bit of what I'm saying is most people just aren't training consistently enough to get to the point where they can bench press that amount of weight. But again, jump on a 5x5 program. It will help you to increase your bench press.
Genetics play a huge role, but it might take a long time. Like I think the only reason that I can bench in the upper threes is because I started bench pressing when I was 14. Yeah. And so I was training intelligently for a long time. So
Grant, he's absolutely right. Genetics are going to play a factor in how long it takes you to get to the point where you bench press 315 pounds or more. Or you just naturally might have certain advantages where it's easier for you to bench press that amount of weight. For example, if you have shorter arms, that might not be a genetic advantage when it comes to deadlifting, but it will be a genetic advantage when it comes to the bench press. He also mentions that part of the reason he thinks he can bench press in the upper threes is because he started bench pressing at the age of 14. He looks older than 24 now, so I don't know if it's going to take 10 plus years to get to the point where you bench press 315 pounds. For example, I didn't start touching weights, like heavy weights, until I was like 17, 18 years old. And then by the time I want to say I was maybe 22, I was bench pressing 315 pounds. But I think the point here is he had been training so long that he got used to the movement. So part of moving a lot of weight is knowing how to move it effectively and efficiently. To give you guys a quick tip, if you don't know already how to set up on the bench press, you want to make sure that your feet are stable when you're on the bench press. You can be on your tippy toes, you can have flat feet. It depends on what feels more comfortable to you, but you just want to make sure that your feet aren't moving all over the place. The other thing you want to make sure that you're doing is that you have an arch in your back when you are bench pressing. It's going to shorten the range of motion that you have to go through to bench press the weight. And it's also going to make sure that you're set up with a more stable base so that you don't put yourself in a position where you may injure yourself.
200 pounds though, like we're assuming average genetics. Like I do think if you're a 165 pound guy, and you're 6'1" with really long arms,
tough.
315 is probably not happening.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to be 165 pounds for some other reason, that's fine, but understand it. And do you remember the video we did on the benchmarks? Like I said, deadlift 405, squat 315 to 365. I think I said bench 275.
I thought you said 225.
225. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, exactly. Because that video was based off like novices, like ending.
Right.
So,
so it's realistic, but it's like, it's going to take some work.
It's going to take time.
Yeah.
Like it's going to take time.
Like 405 is like, I don't know, buddy. That might be reaching.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd say 405 is like, reaching for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, 405, I would say no, it's not a good goal for folks, but 315, which with training, discipline, proper diet, but human behavior's the issue 9 times out of 10.
So again, Grant is right here. If you're 165 pounds, it's not going to be as realistic for you to bench press 315 pounds. So if you're under 200 pounds and you're watching this, I'm sorry, but if you're lighter, it's going to be tougher for you to bench press that amount of weight. But let's say that is your goal. Let's say that you do want to bench press 315 pounds. Maybe you're like 165, 170 pounds. First of all, if that's one of your goals, you should probably just try out powerlifting overall in general, because that's bench pressing 315 pounds at that size. You're almost bench pressing double your weight. And that's what elite level powerlifters do. So I would consider that if that's a goal of yours. But if you're looking to get to that point, which you could always do, is put on some weight, because the more weight you have on you, the more weight you're going to be able to push. That's why earlier he mentioned if you're 200 pounds, you're definitely capable of it. The more weight you have on your frame, the more weight you're going to be able to push. What you can do though is bulk up and then cut back down, because if you do cut back down, what I've usually seen happen is people tend to retain most, if not all, of their strength, because their nervous system has gotten used to moving a certain amount of weight. And to give you guys a macro breakdown that you can use if you're looking to put on some weight and also get strength out of it as well, you want to eat about 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. You also want to eat 4 to 5 grams. I don't think you need to do 5 grams. That's a lot of carbs to eat in one day, but 4 grams of carbs per pound of body weight should be a sweet spot for you. And then you want to eat about 0.5 grams of fat per pound of body weight if you're looking to put on size and also get some strength out of it as well. And then they also say that 405 is going to be a reach for most people. Here, I'm not going to say I disagree, but I would question it, because again, the more weight you have on you, the more weight you're going to be able to push. So for example, a 300-pound person being able to bench press 405, regardless of how they got there, whether it's genetically they're just that large, however maybe they ate too much and they're just overweight, regardless of what the case may be in a scenario like that, because they have more weight on their frame, they're going to be capable of pushing more weight. So somebody who's 300 pounds may be able to may be more capable of bench pressing 400 pounds plus than somebody who's 200 pounds. Just like a 200-pound person is more capable of bench pressing 315 pounds as opposed to somebody who is 165 pounds. I'm actually going to stop the video there. I do think that 315 pounds, while it's something that's rare to see, I think that if you go to the gym consistently, if you're around 200 pounds, it's definitely not only something that you're capable of, but I do think that you should make it a goal for yourself, because it's such an achievable goal that sets you apart from everybody else. It's like, why not go after it? Again, the things that you can do that I went over in the video, you can jump on a 5x5 program to start consistently strength training. You want to make sure that your form is correct when it comes to bench pressing, feet flat on the ground. You want to have an arch in your back so you create a stable base. And then if you're lighter than 200 pounds, you want to put on some size. I gave you the macro breakdown of how you should be eating as well if you're looking to put on some size and strength. But if you want to be lighter and bench press 300 pounds plus, like I said, bulk up first and then cut back down, so that you can put yourself in a better position where you get to 315 pounds. But again, if you want to stay lean, first you want to do that and then cut back down so your nervous system gets used to moving a certain amount of weight. But guys, that is the end of the video. If you guys have any of your own suggestions or any of your own advice as to how somebody can get to the point where they can bench press 315 pounds, feel free to leave that down in the comment section. Or if there's anything that I missed or maybe even got wrong, you can leave that down in the comment section as well. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure that you do like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you guys later.